What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from AnimeUproar, and today we're going to be looking at the latest developments in the Demon Slayer story. We had to wait an extra week for this one, but it was definitely worth it, so make sure to stay tuned for that. If you enjoy these Demon Slayer videos and want to keep them coming, make sure to smash that like button and share this video. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell or you will miss future Demon Slayer videos. For early access to all of our reviews, including Demon Slayer, you can follow our podcast, AnimeUproar Audio, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Links in the description. Keep in mind, there will be manga spoilers here. I'm talking about the latest chapter, chapter 204 after all. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. We start off with some nice colored pages of cherry blossoms. It's been 3 months since Tanjiro overcame being the Demon King with the help of friendship and Tamayo's medicine. We're back at the Butterfly Estate, and we've got Zenitsu and Inosuke sleeping on Tanjiro's bed, while he and Nezuko stare out at the window and talk. Seeing Zenitsu and Inosuke like this is adorable. The three amigos are all safe and sound and getting some much needed relaxation time. Tanjiro's right eye has grown back since he became a demon, but it seems clear that he cannot actually see from it anymore. Still though, he has a remaining working eye, and it lets him enjoy the cherry blossoms, which are in full swing. Nezuko's super cute as she comments on how pretty the cherry blossoms are, and we're told that the days of fighting have ended. It seems that this chapter is going to be dedicated to unwinding and closure after that intense and long battle against Muzan. And I'm glad that we're getting at least a full chapter to process all that's happened so that it can really settle in fully. We see a full color spread of the characters that have died and Tanjiro and Nezuko remembering them. As usual, those that have passed away all seem to be smiling and the living are frowning as they mourn. We're told that the world is now without evil, but so many things have been lost in the process. And then we're told that we have to live on as long as this body has a tomorrow. One of the great things about works of art like Demon Slayer is that although the story is unique, the lessons and emotions of the story can be applied to our own lives as well. And we all know that there is loss and suffering in real life. The mangaka is acknowledging that, but also emphasizing the importance of living on until our own time to go comes. The lesson here is that you can fight for what's right and win, but it could definitely cost a lot in the process. And the idea that the whole world is without evil is a bit simplistic, but hey, it's a shonen, not a seinen, and these characters do deserve a happy ending after all of the losses they've endured. This chapter is called A World Without Demons, so it seems that, for now at least, all demon threats have been taken care of. Along with Tanjiro's eye, his arm, the one that he lost before he grew it back as a demon, doesn't work. It's wrinkled like an old man's arm, and he can't even clench his fist. He can just move it up and down. I wasn't sure what approach the mangaka would take with this. Obviously, Nezuko lost a lot of body parts when she was a demon, but she stayed fully recovered when she became a human again. I suppose that because Tanjiro got these injuries before he was fully a demon, he couldn't fully recover when he turned back to human. He kept the regrown parts, but they no longer worked. This is probably the right approach to take in my view, since it would have felt kind of cheap if he just recovered completely. This way, the sacrifice was very real, and it makes the defeat of Muzan all the more meaningful. Plus, now he matches Kanao, who also lost vision in one eye, yet another clue that they are meant to be together. Tanjiro, being his classic nice self, turns the convo back to Nezuko and asks if she's doing well after he hurt her as a demon. She's beaming when she says she's totally fine. She's clearly a great sister and doesn't want Tanjiro to worry at all. He still feels bad that the damage that he did will probably leave a scar, and he's sorry for what he did to everyone else too. And then we get some pretty fun and unexpected words from Nezuko, giving us a sense of her personality. Nezuko tells him that no one would care about that, and she says that if he apologizes again, she'll hit him. Someone as cute as Nezuko threatening to hit someone is priceless. Tanjiro accepts Nezuko's words and Nezuko smiles, saying that she's glad her brother turned back to human. They talk about Giyu and how he thought it was over when Nezuko was bitten by demon Tanjiro, and how it did truly seem hopeless at times. Now they can laugh and joke about it, but they don't take for granted how lucky they are. We get some new important info here. According to Yushiro, It was lucky that they had Shinobu's medicine and that Tanjiro bit Nezuko first. Nezuko had antibodies since she recovered from being a demon, and that helped make Tanjiro's recovery possible as well. Nezuko is pretty confused about it, but the important thing for her and for us is that Tanjiro's okay. In the flashback, Yushiro straight up says that both the medicine and Nezuko's blood and its antibodies were necessary for Tanjiro to return. He emphasizes that it was crazy good luck. He also says that Tanjiro pretty much had the highest aptitude of any demon, even higher than Muzan and Nezuko, since he overcame the sun in an instant, compared to Nezuko who took much longer. So even though we didn't get to see his full demon power, it seems clear that I was right to put him as the strongest in my top 10 strongest demons video. Link to that video in the description, by the way. Yushiro emphasizes that Tanjiro's strong sense of self made this possible too. He was strong-willed enough to choose his friends and principles over fear, greed, power, and immortality. I like that emphasis, and we should remember that it was more than just medicine and antibodies which saved Tanjiro. A strong will and principles are something we can all cultivate, just like Tanjiro did, and I like the fact that something within all of our reach played such a crucial role rather than just superpowers. Yushiro, out of character, smiles and praises Tanjiro. Tanjiro is moved to tears and feels awkward, but tries to emphasize the importance of his friends too. Yushiro, though, quickly goes back to usual. He puts on the mask of a jerk he wears sometimes over his kind heart and calls Tanjiro the worst, and says he doesn't want to see his face anymore before he leaves. Yushiro takes Tamayo's demon cat, one of the things he has to remember her by, and gives Tanjiro a sincere take care. As he's going, Tanjiro begs him not to die and says that he's the only one who can remember Tamayo forever. Yushiro then leaves without saying a word, and man, that's deep and powerful. Yushiro loved Tamayo more than anyone else, and when you lose someone you love that much, Tanjiro knows it can lead people into dark places. So he gives Yushiro a noble purpose to keep on living that is tied to his love of Tamayo. I'm pretty sure the psychologist Viktor Frankl spoke similarly to a man who lost his wife. And if you've watched the John Wick movies, you know that that's what keeps him going too. He lives on so he can keep remembering his wife who tragically passed away. He also had a dog to remember her by, and taking care of him helped him as well. Yushiro here has Tamayo's cat, and I'm sure he'll also follow this advice and live on so that he can remember Tamayo. It's a short exchange, but it's very powerful nonetheless. Then Tanjiro jumps back to the topic of Giyu and the shape of Giyu's body. Nezuko assures him that he's alright and that he's at Kiria's. We jump to the meeting between the two remaining pillars, Giyu and Sanemi, and Kiriya and his sisters. This appears to be their final meeting ever. We're told that the demons have finally been destroyed and that the demon hunters will finally be disbanded. It's a bittersweet moment. They've sacrificed so much and they probably won't spend as much time together anymore, but the world is finally a safer place. Kiriya and his sisters bow and sincerely thank the two pillars. Now that they stopped Muzan, the Ubuyashiki family should no longer be cursed with early deaths. Giyu and Sanemi don't want their leader to bow to them, but it goes to show how much this all means to the Ubuyashiki family, who struggled so long to stop Muzan. Giyu tells Kiriya, who despite his responsibility is still only a little kid, that his fathers and forefathers would be proud of him. And finally, now that the Muzan business is over, Kiriya can finally drop all of those responsibilities and be a kid for the first time. He cries while thanking Giyu for his kind words. We then jump to Tengen Uzui, the former sound pillar, and his wives who visit Tanjiro. They know he's going home after he finishes recuperating tomorrow, and they invite him to come by their house when he's up for it. I'm really glad that they'll be maintaining these relationships after all said and done. Even Kyojuro Rengoku's brother and dad make an appearance. Remember, at one point the father was not so cool with Tanjiro, the chosen one of the superior breath style. He was rude to him and he regrets it. He thanks Tanjiro for fighting with Kyojuro's guard and says that Kyojuro would be happy. Tanjiro assures him that he's the one who should be thanking Kyojuro since his words consoled him countless times, and it's totally true. Although Rengoku passed on early, he was amazing, and his example helped Tanjiro and the rest keep going until they succeeded. He set all of our hearts ablaze, and I will always consider Kyojuro one of my favorite characters. Zenitsu wakes up as the swordsmiths and more Demon Slayer members show up, and fill the doorway. These guys come practically every single day, and this really shows how many connections Tanjiro and his friends have made during this journey. You wouldn't even remember everyone if you weren't thinking about it, but this chapter fits them all in so that we really do get a fulfilling sense of closure here, and we can remember all of the different adventures Tanjiro has been on when we see all these different groups of people. As Zenitsu screams, the room is full. Tanjiro is the anti-Muzan, since the Demon King of Pop was left all alone in the darkness, while Tanjiro is surrounded by a bright and warm atmosphere with more loving people around him than you can even count. Because he's helped others instead of acting selfishly all the time like Muzan, he's rewarded many times over. Inosuke sneaks out hilariously as he works his way animal-like through people's feet. He sneaks into the kitchen and starts eating, but Aoi is not having it. Inosuke says he didn't eat through a mouth full of food. He's also impressed that Aoi noticed him, thinking that she's actually stronger and more skilled than he thought. Aoi gives Inosuke his own plate, saying he can eat from there anytime but not to steal anyone else's. We can see that Inosuke is pretty touched and impressed by Aoi and the food she gave him. And just as a new relationship may be blossoming between them, we jump to Kanao looking at a cherry blossom tree. Tanjiro joins her, so clearly the mangaka keeps pushing this ship along. We see that her right eye, just like Tanjiro's right eye, doesn't work. But with their working eyes, they enjoy the view of the cherry blossom tree up close. I actually really like the story we get here about the fact that the cherry blossom tree was planted by the very first swordsman who used the Breath of Flowers style. Very cool. And this swordsman named the tree Certain Victory, and here it is, still growing after the Demon Slayers have achieved victory. Very cool, Flower Swordsman. Very cool. Tanjiro is worried about how badly he hurt Kanao, but she assures him that she can see and her wound is all better. We figure out that Sanemi dropped by and left Iguro's snake, the best snake in anime, with Kanao. I didn't see Kanao getting the snake coming, but it's nice that it worked out that way. We definitely don't want Kaburamaru being lonely. As all three are getting along swimmingly, we jump to Sanemi and Nezuko. Now there's some real unresolved stuff between these two. Sanemi was a huge jerk who hurt our precious Nezuko and tried to kill her. Obviously we now know that he did that because of his own tragic backstory, but he still never had that redeeming moment with Nezuko after such horrible behavior. Nezuko says hello, she's clearly not harboring any resentment. She smiles and inquires about his injuries. He's feeling kind of awkward, but Nezuko is beaming, glad that he's alright. Although it's hard for him, he apologizes for everything, including the fact that he slept through the Muzan fight. As Nezuko makes it clear that there's nothing to apologize for, her expression makes him think of his little brother Genya, who passed away in the fight against Kokushibo. We get a sincere head pat, and we see the tough, usually angry Sanemi smile, which is really touching, I must say. He leaves, Nezuko is flustered after the head patting, and Zenitsu is flipping out after seeing this. It's perfect that they followed up that touching moment with Zenitsu being jealous and overprotective of Nezuko. This chapter has a nice combination of humor and genuinely touching moments, and it seems after this chapter that all three amigos have girls that they shared special moments with in this chapter. Finally, Nezuko and Tanjiro are reunited with Giyu and Sakonji. Another touching moment that we've all been waiting for. These guys took a shot on our two protagonists before they met the others. They helped them when things seemed hopeless and even vowed to take their own lives if Nezuko as a demon killed a human, and now after everything they're reunited with the two people they helped save. After all that's happened, they can finally laugh, hug, and be carefree together. However, it's not just about the people who made it, and the mangaka wants to make it clear that a lot of people died fighting Muzan. The graves seem endless, and finally Inosuke decides to throw the flowers on them sloppily since it's already dark out. Obviously, the end wouldn't be complete until Nezuko and Tanjiro returned back home, like they kept saying they were gonna do, and I'm very happy to see Inosuke and Zenitsu going with them. Even Zenitsu Sensei is with them in the form of his ashes. Inosuke hilariously wonders if the ashes can be eaten. And this line just made me realize that Inosuke and Rock from Tower of God definitely have the same energy. We see Saburo, who was the neighbor that let Tanjiro sleep at his house so that he wouldn't be attacked by demons during the night. He hugs Tanjiro, Nezuko, and even Zenitsu gets in on some hug action, as Inosuke awkwardly touches the man's back with one finger, not knowing what to do. Man, I'm really gonna miss Inosuke. They go back to the house, pay their respects to their family members who have passed on, and start cleaning up the old place. Inosuke cannonballs into a small bath while Zenitsu is bathing, and then we see the four sharing a meal happily. It is a perfect scene, and the long empty house is now full with life, warmth, and laughter again. That could be the end right there, and a satisfying end it would be, but we get a bit more. We see a modern landscape, and then we're told time goes by, it's the modern era. Next issue, center color with 24 pages, end quote. And wow, that's pretty crazy. I did not expect this, but it seems like we are having a time skip and we're going to have 24 pages of the time skip in the next chapter. There's been talk that the Demon Slayer manga is supposed to end in May, so that might be the last chapter, but it could also be the beginning of a sequel or spin-off like we saw with other popular series. I'm extremely excited to see what's gonna happen next, and let me know what you expect to see in this time skip chapter. I'm glad we're not done yet, even though I do feel like this chapter did a great job of giving us closure. Everything wrapped up very nicely. At the very least, even if we don't get a sequel, we'll probably find out if the ships I've been talking about sailed or not in the next chapter. It's definitely looking like we might get a Demon Slayer series set in modern times, which could be interesting, kind of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure keeps things fresh by similarly jumping forward in time with each part. I'm holding out hope, but this chapter was pretty much the end of Demon Slayer as we know it. And I'm so thankful that I could enjoy it with you every week like this. Sharing my experience with the Space Fam has made it even more enjoyable than it would have been if I read it alone. So thank you for checking in every week and hanging out. And that is it for today's review. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to smash that like button and share this video. I've been reviewing this series every week for a while now, and it's really become a big part of my life. I'm gonna miss the manga if it completely ends, but we have the anime film to look forward to this year, and the animation of so many epic moments. I'll still be making Demon Slayer videos, so if you haven't, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell because you will miss future Demon Slayer videos if you don't. And remember that you can get early access to all of our reviews, including Demon Slayer, by following our AnimeUproar audio podcast. Links in the description. Lastly, the YouTube ad rates have significantly dropped recently, so the help and support we're getting from our AnimeUproar patrons is now more important than ever. A very special thank you goes to our patrons over on Patreon who help us survive these YouTube issues and who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank the legend acknowledged by Lord Twigo himself, Efren A. And the one-tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans: Steven Ingrata, Alola Anatem, The World, Steelers, Tyson Corino, Acquire Respect, Pate Hefa, Jonathan King, Desi D, Brandon Aviles, and Emperor Otaku, and our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, Anatoly Kazatsky, Angel Cruz, iSparky65, Cricket XP, Ted No Ted, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Alicia Actor, Animal69, Jessica Calafon, Hinokami and Water, Bonnie Parks, Zodiar12, Rathuan De Ora, Tien Huang, Mitch Loves Anime, and JCC Waka. Thank you all so much. If you enjoy our work, you can support more of it by going over to patreon.com/AnimeUproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these amazing people right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord, where we talk about anime, life, and of course, dank memes. So check out patreon.com/AnimeUproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also now join the YouTube channel and support more content that way if you prefer. Whichever way you choose to support us, you can get the same great benefits. Thanks again, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.